This is a demo of my latest video game programming. This is a game I'm calling Space Nerds in Space. So it has a little lobby server here. And I'll connect these guys up to the server. I got 6 screens going. There's one screen. I'll explain what all this stuff is as soon as I get them all set up. Okay, this game is trying to be a sort of Star Trek-like bridge simulator. So right now there's a server process which is running a kind of simulation of some region of space with spaceships flying around and whatnot. And then each of these windows is a separate process that's communicating with that server process through sockets. And the idea is you would normally run each of these programs on a separate computer, and so each player of the game would assume the role of one of the stations on the Starship bridge. So this is very much like a game called Artemis Bridge Simulator, which this is very much inspired by. So right now all of the stations are on the same screen, which is kind of the driving screen, the way that you drive the ship around. But right now, each station has the ability to assume any function, and there's several functions. There's the main screen, which is not implemented. Let me blow this up. There's the main screen, which is not implemented. There's navigation, which is this screen here, and you see this bright area right here. I can, with the arrow keys, move that around and basically turn the ship various ways, and with the forward and backward arrows I can move the ship. So that's how you kind of drive the ship around. And then the next function is the weapons screen, which looks suspiciously like the driving screen, except it's blue, and you can fire torpedoes like that. And those screens are all I've pretty much implemented. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set this up so you can see. I also have a debug screen, which this debug screen shows the entire state of the universe. So this little green dot is this particular starship that this terminal is connected to. The blue dots are planets, so if you remember, there's this blue planet here next to this guy. That is this little dot right here. And I'm going to set these guys up. Alright, so the windows on the top represent one starship, which is down here in the sort of lower right quadrant. And then these 3 windows represent a different starship that's up here. And now I can take and drive this starship by going to this window in the lower left, swinging my ship around, and driving over to the other starship. Now if you notice here, this green dot is kind of moving down as I drive this thing over, and I can kind of steer him toward that blue planet that that other starship is next to. Okay, so now if you notice here, the ship is pulled up to this planet, and this ship right here corresponds to this ship right here, and this right here corresponds to this here. So it is, each of these starships can see the other one from their point of view. And so I can go here and swing around and fire some shots at this guy. And you can see the torpedoes in all of the screens. And actually, if I spin around as I shoot, I can put a nice big spray. And if you look over in the debug screen, you can see these torpedoes spiraling outwards from the ship. Now, normally you wouldn't have that many torpedoes in the game, but this is a nice illustration so you can sort of see what's going on. I can spray out a big line of torpedoes, and you can see those in the debug screen, this big train of torpedoes. So anyway, that's kind of the progress on this game. I think the last time I made a video, the only thing I had was the debug screen. I didn't have any of these other screens. You couldn't move your ship around. You couldn't fire any bullets. So it's considerable progress. I do need to try this out on a real network, because right now all these processes are on the same host, so they're connected via local host, presumably. So you know, the performance that I'm getting here may not be comparable to real-world performance. And this will never run over the internet, I don't think. It might run okay on a LAN. Wireless is probably iffy, because I don't think my network code is robust enough. Well, I know it's not robust enough. I'm pretty sure it's not robust enough. If your laptop wireless drops and then reconnects, I don't think this program will survive that. I don't think the connection won't survive that, I don't believe, and it won't reconnect. So wireless is probably iffy. A wired network, wired LAN, that would be the most interesting thing to try to see how it performs. I did try with one other computer earlier today when I had a pretty decent wireless connection, and it seemed to work pretty well. I mean, things were synced up pretty well. It seemed to respond reasonably well. It was surprisingly good. So hopefully this thing will become playable here not too long. We'll see. See if I get bogged down in this or that thing that prevents me from working on it. But I'm excited about it right now.